We are 40 days away from the NFL draft being here, and Adam Schefter just dropped a bomb on what he believes is going to happen in the NFL draft and makes a major prediction on what happens with the number 1 overall pick in the New York Football Giants. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, though, because if any more news or rumors comes out around Big Blue, we're going to get you guys a video, and we are on our way to 69,000 subscribers. How nice it is. If you want to get to 69,000 subs, hit that sub button. Be one of the 479 real ones to help us get there. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for stopping by as we react to what Adam Schefter had to say about Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, and the number 1 overall pick. Let's dive into it. Schefty over the weekend saying this: there is zero chance that Cam Ward is going to make it to the New York Giants at pick number 3. I expect that Cam Ward will be the number 1 pick in the draft, whether that is Tennessee, Cleveland, or the New York Giants making that pick. And this is all part of the process, right? You begin to evaluate all these guys. Teams do deeper and deeper dives into them. Pause. From my perspective, I'm talking to more and more people before the combine, at the combine, and after the combine. The conversations that I have had convinced me that Cam Ward will be the number 1 pick and certainly the first QB off the board. This has now been my fear for a week plus now. Up to this point, if you've been watching this channel and if you're subscribed, type real one down below, you know and how I feel. I think Cam Ward is going to be a Tennessee Titan at the number 1 overall pick. And I've been feeling this way really since about when we left the NFL Combine. I thought the Giants had a legit shot to be there. But one of the last days I was there, I talked to somebody and they said, don't be shocked if he's just a Titan. New general manager, new vision, and maybe they view him as a franchise quarterback. And now that they haven't signed a quarterback that could actually start in free agency, they're building up the offensive line. The blueprint seems to be that Mike Borgonzi and the Tennessee Titans are going to select him. And it comes down to this. Do they think he's a franchise quarterback, or do they think he is not a franchise quarterback? Because teams don't pass up on those guys. You never see a team kick the can down the road when there's a franchise guy right in front of their feet. Like, that's what it's going to come down to. So for all the videos we've talked about, what's the price going to be to trade up? To all the questions you guys asked me, Marsh, what are the Giants going to have to give up? Is it 2 day 2 picks? Do they have to give up a future first-round pick? What are they going to have to do? You can't even have those conversations until the Titans make up their mind. If he's a franchise quarterback, the Titans are going to take him. If he's not, they're going to take someone else and or trade down in the NFL draft with the New York Giants. Like, let's just go back to last year. Similar situation. Did we hear anything about the Chicago Bears trading down for the number 1 overall pick when Caleb Williams was theirs for the taking? No, because they believed he was a franchise guy. Did we hear anything about the Washington Commanders trading down? No, because they thought Jaden Daniels was a franchise guy. And we got an inside look at the call that Joe Shane made to the New England Patriots trying to trade for Drake May. And what did he say? Yeah, we're probably just going to stick and pick, because that's what teams do. When you don't have a quarterback, there's a franchise guy on the board. When you're on the clock at the top of round 1, you just make the pick. And that's what scares me. The Giants may not even have a chance to trade up and go get the best QB in this class. And they may not even get a QB at number 3 in this class, because everything I have heard, it sounds like Shedeur Sanders is going to go number 2 to Cleveland. Cleveland reportedly really likes him. They like the way he carries himself. They love the confidence he has. Their combine meeting with him went really well. And I'll go back to what Adam Schefter said a couple of weeks ago. He was asked, what is he most confident about in the first round in the NFL draft? He said that Cleveland takes the QB at 2. And if Cam Ward goes 1, Shedeur Sanders, he might just be a Brown at number 2. But hey, how about that Week 17 win against the Colts, baby? Hey, Drew Lock, we appreciate you, my man. How about that culture? You know what? The culture is so strong in the Giants building because that win, they don't even need Cam Ward. They don't even need Shedeur Sanders. They're going to have culture playing QB for the Giants next year. And you could blame John Mara for that, by the way. Mike Garafolo has already gone out on a podcast within the last week saying, and I'll say this, he's got a really good relationship with Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll. He said if Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll knew that their jobs were safe, that outcome of the game would have been a little bit different. But Joe and Dave's, they didn't think their job was safe. So they wanted to win, to make it look like they could win. And they did win. But they actually lost. And the Giants lost because they now are outside of the range to take a quarterback in round 1. Look, if number 1 is on the board, if the Tennessee Titans come to the conclusion that Cam Ward is not a franchise guy, and we want to trade down, we want to add more picks because I go back to what their head of football operations said a couple months ago. We're not going to pass up on a generational talent. And maybe we assume that is Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter. But it could also be we're not going to pass up on a generational talent at the QB position. If it's on the board and they're willing to trade you, go do it. But you can't make them trade with you. Like as much as I would like to say, Tennessee, trade with me. Go get me Cam Ward. Go get me my QB1, the guy I've wanted to be a Giant dating back to the beginning of September. Yeah, I want it to happen. But you can't make it happen. And that's why I will never get over that Week 17 win against the Indianapolis Colts unless the New York Giants walk out of round 1 with a franchise quarterback. If you want them to get the number 1 pick, though, if you want a trade to happen, you want the Titans to make the wrong evaluation of Cam Ward, saying he's not a franchise guy, hit that thumbs up icon for me right now. I'll play the game, though. Marsh, what is it going to cost to get Cam Ward? Well, I watched yesterday on NFL Network. I forget what the show is called, 40-plus free agents or something like that Daniel Jeremiah is doing with someone else on NFL Network. DJ said he thinks that if the Giants are going to trade up, they're going to have to overpay a little bit. He said a 5% to a 10% overpay. And he said that that could include pick number 3 this year, pick number 34 this year, and the New York Giants' second-round pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. And that's a lot to move up 2 spots. But hey, we need a quarterback. Got to pay the piper. And there's always a tax on moving up in the NFL draft when you go and get a quarterback. We saw that with the Trey Lance pick recently. We saw that when the Bears moved up 1 pick to get Mitch Trubisky. It always is going to cost more when you have to trade up and the team knows you're moving up to get a quarterback. It's like the New York Knicks tax. When you do a trade with the Knicks always have to overpay. And look, the Giants, I do think, make a lot of sense as a trade partner for the Tennessee Titans. Because if you're the Titans, and you could say, all right, what's the most optimal and best outcome if we don't want a quarterback? We trade down. We still get a couple of top 100 picks, but we trade down and we land in a spot where we could still take a blue chip prospect. And where can you do that? At the 3rd overall pick. And when you look at the cupboard of draft picks that the Tennessee Titans have, not really a lot of premium ones there. Yeah, you got the most premium pick in the class, 1-1, and you got pick 35. Those are really good. But you have 2 picks inside the top 100. You have 2 picks inside the top 102. You have 3 picks inside the top 119. If you could call up the Giants, and the Giants are like, hey, we've got 5 picks inside the top 105. We've got a lot of premium selections. We got 4 picks inside the top 99. If you want to be able to add some future draft capital and stay in range to draft Abdul Carter or Travis Hunter, the Giants and or the Browns may make the best sense for that. But at the end of the day, there's no guarantee that the Titans pass on a quarterback. There's no guarantee that the Browns pass on a quarterback. And there is certainly no guarantee the Giants get a quarterback at number 3 that is named Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders. And that's why getting Aaron Rodgers is so big for me, because we don't know. There's a world that's probably most likely where Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders are not New York Giants. And if they're not New York Giants, I want the best guy for the job that can win games next year. I don't want to have to be doing karaoke at halftime during Sunday watch parties next year in week 5. I don't want to have to do mock drafts in November anymore. I'm not saying you win a Super Bowl with Aaron Rodgers. I'm not saying you get to the playoffs with Aaron Rodgers. But every Sunday will be fun. Every Sunday will be an opportunity the Giants can win. And I'll say this much. The Giants will be in the hunt to win or earn a playoff spot next year with Aaron Rodgers. I will die on that hill. If the Giants add Rodgers and they don't get a quarterback at 3, and that results in Abdul Carter, Travis Hunter, and maybe Jackson Dart in round 2, I think Giants can win 8 or 9 games the next year. And in the NFC, that's good enough to potentially win a wild card spot. It's so big. So big. You gotta if you leave this offseason without Rodgers, Wilson, Cam Ward, or Shedeur Sanders, you're fired. It's that simple. Who takes the first snap at QB for the Giants this upcoming season? Predict it for me. Who do you think it's going to be? Give me a name down in the comment section, and make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram at @MarshallGreen_. If we get any news on Big Blue, first place you're going to hear about it is on my Twitter. So go give me a follow over there, and let's go Big Blue.